What's up guys, my name is Ryan Snon. Today we're talking about how you can get buttery smooth slow motion footage without even using a gimbal. Let's check it out. If at any point in this video you want to skip ahead or anything like that, you can go down below in the description box to check for show notes and any of the products I'm going to talk about that I use to get all my buttery smooth slow motion. Spoiler alert guys, I don't have a gimbal, and I'm able to get some really good cinematic slow motion shots with some different things that I picked up along the way that I want to help you guys with in your videos and films in 2018. I don't want you to be thinking that you have to go out and spend $1,000 to $3,000 or $4,000 on a really high quality gimbal. You don't need a Ronin, you don't need a zenith crane. You don't need anything besides your two hands and a little know-how. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Okay, so the first aspect of slow motion that you need to be thinking of is having a higher frame rate on your camera. So most cameras that shoot go to 24 to 30 frames a second. That's pretty standard when you're talking about like what we're shooting this video in right now. I'm shooting on this camera in 30 frames a second, but I'm shooting this one in 60 frames on the main screen here. So you slow down the footage in your editing software, you're going to notice it might get really choppy. So to avoid this, you need to be shooting in the higher frames per second. So go into your camera or your iPhone or whatever you're shooting on and go to your frames per second and get it as high as possible without losing your quality. Now, anything over 60 frames is going to be better for you, but at this point, just make sure you can get over 60 frames to start. Now that you've got your frame rate set up, you want to look at the in-body stabilization of your lenses and of your camera body. Some cameras actually have stabilization built into the camera. So the biggest thing with slow motion is that you get this really jittery effect. You don't get what you're looking for when it comes to nice smooth footage. So to smooth this out, you want to make sure that your camera body is set on InBody Stabilization, and if you have a lens, to switch on InBody Stabilization on your lens. Some cameras don't have this, but it's really going to make a huge difference if your camera does have this. So now that you got those things configured, the next step is how you hold the camera and how you walk around. So a lot of people refer to this as the ninja walk. I've really tried to work on this myself a lot because I don't own a gimbal, and to try and get really smooth slow motion, you have to learn how to move around. Instead of marching heavy-footed, heel, toe, you really want to try and walk around on your toes. Make sure that you got your knees bent and you're kind of in a, like everyone likes to call, the ninja walk. So in addition to the ninja walk, you want to make sure that you're using your hands and your body placement to help aid in making that a nice smooth transition. So what I'm talking about here are going to be pans, tilts, and move-ins and move-outs. So what you'd use a gimbal for, you could just walk around, swing around if you're trying to do like an orbit shot around something, or if you're trying to do a peak shot around a corner. So I like to do this when I'm pulling focus, when I'm doing my gym videos for some of my clients. When we're talking about lifting weights, I like to shoot through things to try and give a depth of field. So I do this handheld, but what I do is I'm going to position my body to my end point, and I'm going to put my arms out where it's going to start. So I'll have my body in a wide angle stance. I'll put my body at the end point, and I'm going to swing the camera around slowly, close to my body, making sure that I have a look on the line of sight, keeping my subject in sight. Okay, so now that we've talked about some of the practical applications, there are some kind of off-the-wall creative ways you can try and get some great cinematic footage and buttery slow motion. There's some unorthodox ways you can do this, one of which actually involves using a drone. If you have a drone that has a gimbal built into it, it actually has this stabilization shock in the inside of it. So when it's on, it stabilizes the camera for in-flight. But what you can actually do is keep the wings off and hold it like this and just walk straight ahead and keep it kind of stabilized with your body doing that ninja walk we talked about. And again, people might look at you kind of weird if you're walking around a wedding gig or commercial videography gig with your drone using it as a camera, but again, we have to be creative behind the scenes to get our shot that we need to have. People can even get really smooth buttery footage if they're riding on a skateboard or on rollerblades, or if someone pulls them on a bicycle. There are so many ways you can get really smooth slow motion footage. You just have to really get creative about it and not make excuses. Everyone always makes the claim that it's all about the gear that you have and a certain camera or certain gear to get you where you need to be. And the first 3 years of my video career, learning the trade and everything, I just shot on a Canon Rebel that I bought at Target for $350 and made many mistakes, learned a lot of things along the way. But it wasn't about the gear, it's about understanding how to use what you have to get what you need. So in future videos, I'm going to be covering different ways to get cinematic footage with your drone and also your iPhone separately. So just showing people that it's not about the gear, it's about how you use the gear. Okay, so that's it for me, guys. If you found any value in this video, please, please, please smash that like button. It really does make a difference. And if you're into this type of stuff, I will be making weekly videos to help you guys grow your brand online, whether you're a freelancer or small business or someone that just wants to learn more about this stuff. When I first started making films and videos, I learned everything that I know through YouTube. And because of the support system and all the people that have helped me understand this entire industry online, I feel like it's my duty to give it back to you guys. So if you're into that type of stuff, I encourage you to subscribe below. See you in next week's episode. Don't forget to subscribe. Bye!